Your brain believes what you repeat daily. Sounds like a motivational quote, but it's actually a neuroscience-backed truth. The words you say to yourself, the thoughts you replay, and the beliefs you rehearse shape how your brain is wired. Over time, repetition turns thoughts into beliefs, beliefs into behaviors, and behaviors into outcomes. This article breaks down why repetition is so powerful, how your brain processes repeated information, how negative self-talk quietly sabotages success, and how intentional repetition can reprogram your mindset for growth, confidence, and performance. 1. Your brain prioritizes repetition over truth. Your brain is not designed to judge what is true or false first. It judges what is frequent. When an idea appears repeatedly, your brain assumes it must be important. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes sense. Repeated signals often meant survival. As a result, the brain gives priority to familiar thoughts, even if they're inaccurate. If you repeatedly think, "I'm bad at this," your brain eventually accepts it as a fact and adjusts your behavior accordingly. Lower effort, hesitation, avoidance. 2. Neuroplasticity. Your brain is always rewriting itself. Neuroscience calls this ability neuroplasticity, the brain's capacity to rewire itself based on experience and repetition. Every repeated thought strengthens a neural pathway. The more often a pathway is activated, the easier it becomes to use. Over time, your brain defaults to those well-worn routes. In simple terms, thoughts you repeat become thoughts you believe. 3. Why negative self-talk is so dangerous. Negative thoughts don't hurt you because they're negative. They hurt you because they're repeated. Common examples: "I'm not smart enough. I always mess things up. People like me never succeed." Repeated daily, these statements shape confidence levels, risk tolerance, decision-making, emotional resilience. Eventually, your brain stops questioning them and starts operating from them. 4. The reticular activating system, RAS. Your brain has a built-in filter called the reticular activating system. Its job is to decide what information deserves your attention. What does it filter for? Whatever you repeat and focus on. If you constantly repeat that opportunities are rare, your RAS filters them out. If you repeat that growth is possible, your RAS highlights chances, ideas, and connections that support that belief. You don't see reality as it is. You see it as your brain has been trained to notice it. 5. Repetition shapes identity. Your identity isn't fixed. It's trained. The phrases you repeat silently become identity statements. "I'm the kind of person who finishes things. I'm someone who learns fast. I don't quit under pressure." Over time, your brain aligns your behavior with these internal labels. Identity-based repetition is one of the strongest drivers of long-term change.
6. Why affirmations work when done right. Affirmations aren't magic. They work because they introduce controlled repetition. But they must be believable, specific, repeated consistently, instead of, "I am perfect and unstoppable." Try, "I'm improving every day. I can handle challenges better than before." Your brain accepts progress-based statements more easily, and builds belief faster. 7. Daily repetition shapes emotional states. Your emotional baseline is heavily influenced by what you repeat internally. Repeated thoughts of fear increase anxiety. Repeated thoughts of gratitude increase calm. Repeated thoughts of capability increase confidence. Emotion follows repetition. 8. Your environment repeats messages too. It's not just self-talk. Your brain absorbs repeated messages from social media, music lyrics, news cycles, peer conversations. If your environment repeats negativity, limitation, or fear, your brain adopts it subconsciously. Curating your inputs is not optional, it's psychological hygiene. 9. How to reprogram your brain through repetition. Here's a simple framework. 1. Identify one limiting belief you repeat unconsciously. 2. Replace it with a realistic, empowering alternative. 3. Repeat it daily, especially during stress. 4. Act in small ways that support the new belief. Repetition plus action locks in belief. 10. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need dramatic change. You need daily repetition. 5 minutes a day of intentional thought beats one motivational burst a month. Your brain is shaped by what you do consistently, not occasionally. Conclusion. Your brain believes what you repeat daily, not because it's naive, but because it's efficient. It builds reality from patterns, and repetition creates those patterns. Change what you repeat, and you change what your brain believes. Change what your brain believes, and you change how you live. The most powerful conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself, every single day. 11. Repetition and the subconscious mind. Most of your daily decisions are not made consciously, they come from your subconscious programming. Psychologists estimate that over 90% of our thoughts are repetitive and automatic. The subconscious mind learns primarily through repetition and emotion, not logic. That's why something you know isn't true can still feel true if you've repeated it long enough. When a belief is repeated daily, it bypasses conscious resistance and becomes subconscious instruction. Once a belief reaches this level, your behavior follows it automatically. 12. Why childhood repetition is so powerful. Many of your strongest beliefs didn't start with you, they started with repetition in childhood. Statements like, be realistic, people like us don't do that, that's too risky. Repeated during formative years, these ideas became internal rules. As adults, we often confuse these inherited repetitions with facts. Understanding this is powerful because it means, if repetition built the belief, repetition can rebuild it. 13. Mental rehearsal and performance. Elite athletes, CEOs, and performers use repetition through mental rehearsal. When you repeatedly imagine yourself handling pressure, succeeding, or staying calm, your brain activates the same neural circuits as real experience. This is why visualization works. The brain doesn't fully distinguish imagined repetition from real repetition. Confidence increases before results appear. You don't wait to believe after success, you believe through repetition before success. 14. Language shapes reality. The exact words you repeat matter. Compare. I'm trying. vs. I'm training. I hope. vs. I'm preparing. I can't. vs. I'm learning how. Small language shifts create different emotional and neurological responses. Over time, these differences compound into drastically different identities. 15. Repetition during stress is what defines you. Anyone can think positively when life is easy. The real programming happens during failure, rejection, fatigue, uncertainty. What you repeat to yourself in those moments becomes your default belief system. If stress triggers self-blame, your brain learns helplessness. If stress triggers problem-solving language, your brain learns resilience. 16. A simple 7-day repetition exercise. Try this for 1 week. Write one limiting belief you repeat unconsciously. Rewrite it into a realistic, empowering statement. Repeat it every morning and before sleep. Notice emotional and behavioral shifts, not perfection. Small repetitions create long-term change. Conclusion. Your brain believes what you repeat daily, not because it's weak, but because it's designed to learn efficiently. Repetition builds neural pathways. Neural pathways shape beliefs. Beliefs shape actions. Actions shape life outcomes. You don't need to control every thought, only the ones you repeat. Change the repetition, and you change the direction of your